Hey, what's going on, guys? I was thinking a second ago. I'm about to have a meeting with my team and stuff like that, but I was thinking about something that I read in the Griot about Steve Harvey and his ratings dropping on his show. I would be curious to know what that really means. I have a hard time believing Steve Harvey isn't doing well. It just seems that Steve is, he's kicking butt. He's as far as entertainment goes. But they did say that his show, Little Big Shots, and the other thing, Steve, the talk show, are struggling because he apparently lost favor with a lot of black folks when he met with Donald Trump. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about Steve. I'm going to be as honest as I can be. I never really was a big fan of Steve Harvey as a person. I didn't dislike him. Like I could see him on a show and he can make me laugh. I watched the Def Comedy Jam thing that he did, not too long ago, and I thought it was gracious of him to participate because, he's big and he didn't have to. He was funny. I think Steve is a hardworking guy, a smart guy, and he deserves a lot of his success. Steve Harvey paid his dues. You got to give it to him. But, I lost support for him, or I couldn't support him entirely, put it that way, when I started seeing some of the other stuff he did, where he said, I don't give a damn about slavery. And, you can't do that. You're cooning at that point. I didn't like that letter, that leaked memo that he sent to the people that work for him. I thought that was kind of crazy, where he was pretty much telling people, don't talk to me, don't bother me, stuff like that. I think he could have handled that better. And then there was another incident that had to do with race. I forgot what it was. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, there's a few things like that that really just kind of got me to where I'm like, okay, man, come on, dude. You're kind of being a clown right now. But here's the thing. I think that while people certainly have the right to be mad at Steve Harvey for meeting with Trump, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I don't think that's the reason. If you're going to give up on Steve, I don't think that should be the reason. I think that those other things, if he disrespects black people, which I feel like he has on a couple of occasions when he's trying to front for white folks, then you should give him a pushback. And I think also the arrogance. I think that's another thing that works against him. Is I think some people get to the point where they really feel like they can't be touched. So when you try to critique them, they come off like, oh, well, you a hater and God got my back and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, man, it ain't nobody hating on you, and Jesus can't protect you from the fact that you're an asshole. And I think it's not that Steve is an asshole. I think Steve was being an asshole on that particular day. And so, if you want to know if Steve Harvey and I are friends or ever could be friends, the answer is probably not. I'm sure if he thinks about me at all, and I have reason to believe that he does a little bit. I'm just a guy that's out here. I guess in his mind, I'm just another hater. But I don't think that we would be the best of buddies, even though I would certainly welcome a call from Steve Harvey. I would not be disrespectful or rude at all. And if he wanted my opinion, I would give it to him. But at the same time, I think, while I can certainly be critical of him, I don't think we should have attacked him so much for having the meeting with Donald Trump. I personally think that we should not be loyal to any political party. I think that to me it's a problem when we're applauding black people who go meet with whether it's Obama or Hillary, and we don't applaud. We get mad when they go meet with a Republican, when really none of these political parties are doing anything for you. They're not doing shit for you. They don't like you. They don't respect you. Trump is probably, in the extreme category in terms of being just an utterly ridiculous president. I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if the Trump presidency ended with him either going to prison or resigning because he's been threatened with prison. I think that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to pressure him to the point where they're going to say, look, either step, when all your friends start going down and getting indicted I think Paul Manafort got indicted for conspiracy against the United States. I'm like, shit, that sounds like treason. Oh, they'll hang your ass for that. Ooh, and he's one, and Paul Manafort is right there in the Trump camp. That was his campaign advisor. That was his guy. So I'm thinking, woo, this is gonna be ugly. So Trump is about probably the most clownish president we've ever had. And I'm not even really talking about it from a political standpoint. The Democrats got everybody all riled up over, what was it, DACA. I don't give a fuck about DACA. They got you all riled up about, the whole feminist thing. I think the feminists can sometimes be as harmful as the people that they fight against. I believe in equal rights for everyone, but some of the stuff I've seen out of the white feminist movement have not made sense to me. They got you riled up over all these other sort of talking points. They give you these talking points, and you follow them in lockstep, because black people, because we don't know who we are, we tend to take our cues from the Democrats. And I'm gonna tell you what I tell the people is, my ancestors did not die for me to have the right to vote for Hillary Clinton. My ancestors ain't died for Hillary Clinton. They died for me. They died for me to have freedom. Freedom means I'm gonna do what I want. So whether you like it or not, don't try to. You are never gonna shame me into supporting anybody who does not care about me or care about my community. I'm not your boy. I'm not your child. We are not your little sidekicks, your little political sidekicks, your side chicks, whatever they want to make us into. We are a free, sovereign people. We have our own minds, we have our own agenda, we have our own issues, and perhaps if there is an alignment, like Dr. Wilmer Leon, one of the great political scientists of our time, said, he said, there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. So circling back to Steve Harvey meeting with Donald Trump, I believe, really, again, I don't think Steve is 100% bad. I believe Steve met with Trump because I think that he somehow has some reason to believe that perhaps he could leverage Trump's discord with the black community and say to him, hey man, I'll help you get good with black folks if you will do something good for black folks. And I think that Trump probably did what he did to a lot of people. He double-crossed him. I think Steve, I don't know if Steve really was fully aware that Trump is a snake, but I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I have a lot of friends who would tell me that the same thing was happening when your favorite black man was in office too. I'm not trying to diss nobody. I ain't trying to be a hater. I ain't trying to pee in your Cheerios, but I know inside stuff. I know people who know people. Let's just say that. And I heard some stories that would make you puke, but I don't repeat those stories publicly because black folks ain't ready. We worship. We either think you are the devil or we think you are God. When it comes to politicians, we either think somebody is gonna kill us and put us in chains again, or we think that they are gonna take us to heaven. And I think that that's ridiculous. I don't appeal to Negroes who think that way. I don't appeal to black people who get into the worship complex. I appeal to black people who think for themselves. I'm not even telling you to agree with me. I'm just telling you, have your own damn opinion. Stop getting your opinions off TV and stuff. It's stupid. It's crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense. But then again, not everybody's equipped mentally to, think in the same way. And that's why for some people, this stuff isn't going to even make any sense. They're going to get mad at me in the first 30 seconds of the video. So I will say this. Most of my critiques of people tend to be pretty nuanced. Again, like with Steve Harvey, I don't take it personal. Again, I could sit down and have a beer with Steve, or you can talk to him on the phone and be like, hey, man, yeah, I don't agree with that. But, hey, this thing, I like what you did over here. Like, I can do that. That's what you do. Like, it comes from me being a professor. As a professor, that's what you do with students. You give them a good grade when they do well. You give them a bad grade when they do bad. It ain't personal, but you failed that. You fucked up on that test. You might have been an A student last week, but you're not an A student right now. That's how you think as a professor. That's also how you think as a scholar. We would criticize the hell out of each other's research because we wanted to help each other get better. So a lot of times when I'm critiquing somebody, a lot of times it's because I think they can do better. I think Steve Harvey does great. I think he could do better, but then again, I don't know Steve Harvey's life. I know that he's been a winner for most of his life. He's got a lot of money. He's very successful. I don't think that makes you. I don't think having money though makes you a necessarily successful person. I think Steve was kind of learning the compromises that you have to make when you get into that big Hollywood space, because Hollywood is a fucked up place. They have a crazy agenda. The gay agenda is real. The pedophile agenda is real. They are some sick ass people out there in Hollywood. And when you start mixing with all of that, and you start sitting next to the Harvey Weinsteins, and you got to kiss his ass, even though he's a crazy pervert, you got to kiss his ass because he can get you your next movie deal. That's not a good place to be. That's when you start feeling like you sold your soul. I know a lot of people who've interacted with Harvey Weinstein. In fact, I give props to Dame Dash. Dame went off on Harvey Weinstein, and when he told me why he did it, it linked exactly to a lot of the scandal that's going on right now. So, but and what I give Dame credit for is that Dame said, I don't care who you are, I don't care how important you are, what you're doing is messed up. And he called him out. And everybody said, oh my God, how could you go off on Harvey Weinstein? He's so important. Well, now you see. you know, and you got other people, you know, I'm not going to go into names, but you got other people like that too. Everybody kiss their butt because we worship people who have money. We tend to think that if you got money, you are a successful person. If you have money, then by God, you're a good human being. No, a lot of people who have good money are very bad people because some of them did bad things to get that money. A lot of these strong, so-called strong black men that you see on TV every day, they bending over, getting on their knees, putting stuff in their mouth, and doing favors for people so they can get put on. It happens all the time, every day, because again, the agenda is real. So anyway, long story short, I'm gonna say that I think if you're gonna have an issue with Steve Harvey, just circling it back to Steve Harvey so we can close out. I think if you're gonna have an issue with Steve, have an issue over something that's substantive. I think him meeting with Trump was just straight intelligent politics, intelligent business dealing. You sit down and you hear what people have to say. Nothing wrong with sitting down and having a meeting. It doesn't mean you're doing anything. It just means you're like, okay, well, tell me what you got to say. You know, I think that Martin Luther King, you know, in fact, Martin Luther King did in his lifetime. He met with every single president, Republican or Democrat. He met with, I know he met with Nixon. Nixon wasn't president at the time, but he sat down with Nixon. He sat down with Kennedy. He sat down with Roosevelt. He sat down, I think it was Roosevelt. And pretty much, I say Roosevelt. I didn't mean Roosevelt. I meant Truman. What's wrong with me? See, I failed history. My bad. But long story short, my point in all that is to say, you know, we have to get some logic in our community. We don't have enough logic. We have a lot of emotion. And I think emotion causes us sometimes to be distracted. It also causes us to be focused on the wrong things. You know, that's it. That's my analysis on Steve Harvey. I'm going to go. Don't forget, if you want to check out some of our programs in the Black Business School, we now have almost 50,000 students, and we are kind of our own digital HBCU, and we're very, very proud of that. And we also have partnerships with an HBCU, Simmons College of Kentucky. So we are, you know, we're every day we're growing. We got an office in Philadelphia now. We've now partnered with ibuyBlack.org. If you live in Philly, go to ibuyBlack.org and get you a card. It's a card that gives you discounts at about 400 or 500 black businesses in the Philadelphia area, because we're going to work with Kenny Gamble and ibuyBlack.org to rebuild Black Wall Street in Philadelphia. And I'm going to try to do the same thing in London and places all over the country, LA, Chicago, New York, all of that. It just takes time. It takes time to build, you know, because we're building everything independently and organically, not borrowing large amounts of money from some white bank or whatever. We're doing it organically, which requires us to, you know, sort of not move as quickly as we'd like to move. But if you believe in the mission and you want to be a part of it, feel free to join. You can go to blackfinancialliteracy.com. That's blackfinancialliteracy.com, and you can put your children in a Black Millionaires of Tomorrow, the first black business school for children that I know of anywhere. You can join the Black Wealth Boot Camp. You can join a lot of programs that we have and be a part of the movement. So take care, guys. I'm out of here. And again, Steve Harvey, if you're watching this video, I don't hate you, man. I know it sounds, sometimes I can sound mean, like I hate people. I don't hate nobody. Just so everybody knows, don't waste your time hating people. Don't waste your time holding grudges, because hate and holding grudges are very heavy emotions for you to carry, and they hurt you. They destroy you internally. Learn love, learn forgiveness, and if you do everything in love and forgiveness, then it helps you sleep at night, and it helps you move forward with your life. So that person that you hate, that person you're mad at, maybe you're mad at one of your parents because they didn't do right by you. You're mad at your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend because they did you wrong. Let that go. You know, let them move on so you can be free. You let them be free so you can be free. Now, it ain't about them, it's about you. So learn love, learn forgiveness. That's how you can be a happy person. And I teach that to myself every day, because I teach that to myself every day, because believe me, every day there's somebody I want to choke, and then I have to bring it back in and say, okay, boys, let's forgive, let's move on, let's let it go. All right, so take care, guys. Blackfinancialliteracy.com. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Peace.